Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame and Cinnamon Sugar, and we are back to discuss this latest winter storm. So, I don't know how many of y'all are being affected by this, but I am because of where I live. I live in Virginia, but I am from Alabama, and I heard that Atlanta, I don't know if any of the surrounding areas, I imagine so, are going to be experiencing some sleet or something like that, ice or whatever. But where I live, we are supposed to be getting at least 5 to 8 inches of snow. We're supposed to be getting ice. The winds are supposed to be like really high, like 35 plus miles per hour. And we already had issues the last time it snowed. It wasn't even that bad to me, considering I came from a place where it barely snowed. We had one blizzard one time back in like the 90s. Then the next time it actually snowed, I was an adult. And when I say I was an adult, I was working for the state of Alabama and literally got out into the snow. It was a Saturday, I'll never forget. I told y'all who've been here for a while what happened, but the gist of the story was I had a client who I had to pop up on. It was a Saturday. I drove out to her house in the snow. It was actively snowing while I was driving. I hit 85, all of that. Went to her house. She lived 45 minutes to an hour from my house to go pop up on her. See, people did not understand. I'm that type of social worker that I will pop up on you when you least expect it. And that's what I could do. Because if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, you're going to get got. And it's not that I was trying to do that. It's just that actually was a part of my job. I got to pop a drug screen on you. I got to come to the house. I got to make sure all the stuff on, all these the electricity working, the water running, the children have the right type of clothes going on, you taking care of their hair, like, and in a lot of cases, if something was lacking, we would help. We were easily able to try to reach out and help. In most cases, I was reaching into my pockets helping people with groceries and little stuff like that. So I never was in the business of taking children. That's what a lot of people assume off rip as soon as they hear the word social worker. And I don't like that. I don't like it. But I digress. So anyway, I said all that to say this. If I was able to do that and I had never seen snow before that, I was literally a child when it snowed that time. We had a blizzard and we were inside for a week. That was the first time in my entire life I'd ever seen snow. So our power went out at one point in time. It finally came back on. It took a week for the snow to go away. The next time it snowed, I was an adult in my early to mid 20s. So yeah. And I was able to get through that. I maneuvered through it on the interstate, on the back roads and all this other stuff because it wasn't that bad. But for me to be where I am now in Virginia, and there are people who live this, get snow just about every year, several times a year, and they still can't drive, that's older than me, and all of that, I just don't be understanding. I mean, they really be having all-wheel drives, SUVs, pickup trucks, high off the ground, to where they ain't got to worry about the snow compacting under their cars and stuff like I do now because of the type of vehicle that I have. But they stay getting stuck and in a ditch and all this other stuff. I just want to say, I think that it was stupid that the people who got stuck the other week got stuck on I-95. And that's a nice little distance from where I am. I'm like, why were y'all out? Like, I mean, some people said that they got caught in it because they were going to see somebody's last or one of their last football games and all this other stuff. But I'm like, y'all can't even drive when the sun out, baby. Why you thought you was going to be able to drive in the snow? Then y'all got caught on the interstate. Then y'all was looking crazy for over 10 hours when the people didn't come fast enough. And I'm just like, it is what it is. Now, we've had moments. I ain't going to sit up here and act like the part of Virginia that I'm in is just so awesome. Because there was a time that I was trying to look at the people like, when y'all going to treat the roads? I mean, they weren't pre-treating the roads this one particular time, and it ended up being so bad. I think last year we had a moment where it was bad because we had it was like one day we had sleet and the streets were terrible. They did not pre-treat the streets. And then they tried to treat it after the fact. People were slipping and sliding everywhere. I personally didn't even know that was going to happen because we were told, well, my little app told me something completely different. So when I got out, I was like, okay, this ain't that bad. And it really wasn't for me. And then the type of vehicle I was driving at the time, that baby was heavy. That baby was heavy and she held it in the road. But it was other people who had really small vehicles that I guess in their mind, they felt like they could just do what they wanted to do. And they were turned all the way around into our direction. And I was almost late for work last year. I called out the second time because it was like that day it had already sleeted and they didn't pre-treat the streets. Then the next day passed by and then the day after that it sleeted again and it was bad. We got ice. It was sheets of ice on the street again. And I'm like, why do y'all think y'all are invincible? Like, a lot of these people really think they are invincible when they do this, when they get out in these streets and they think, oh, I got all-wheel drive, I can do that. And I'm like, a lot of y'all don't know what to do. A lot of y'all start panicking when you start like sliding a little bit and all that. I don't even do that. When my situation happened, like what was it, last week or the week before last? The people who were talking to me were kind of making me nervous. I'm the type of person that I lock in and focus if I'm the one getting myself out of a situation. As I've told y'all before, I taught myself how to get out of mud and all this little stuff. Like, I've had to get out of stuff before on my own. And I was able to do it. I was able to maneuver it. And I'm pretty sure it has everything to do with who my daddy is. The people who know my daddy, y'all already know that's a living legend right there. But it is what it is. So I just don't understand why people think that it's smart to get out in the snow. I don't understand. And like I said before, I think that the last time it snowed, it wasn't bad at all. It really wasn't, because I had gotten off work and when I'm driving through it, like even in my work parking lot, I was like, oh, I mean, and they had somebody who came through that had been treating it all night, all morning, whatever. And even in my parking spot, it was like slushy. And then they actually have a couple of guys who go out in between the vehicles and they have like the little machine that you put the salt in and they salt right there as the cars move and all that stuff. So the parking lot, our parking lot usually isn't that bad unless they don't have enough people when it happens who are on hand who will go out and do that. Now for me, like where I live in my apartment building, I believe that I'm the only person who has a shovel. Y'all, I have a big heavy duty shovel that I bought years ago. I have salt on hand. I just refilled the little container that I use for my salt, and I shovel the pathway that leads from out of my building all the way down to the sidewalk. And I just want to make sure that I can get to my car and the couple of other people who work here and that have vehicles, because I think it's just myself and like one other person who actually have vehicles here. I want us to be able to get in and out, and the other person who does that, she has like kids and I think grandkids. So I'm like, I don't want us to be falling and all of that. My landlord just found out that I do that. She was like, oh, you got to get you some major deductions. I got to hurry up and deduct some stuff from your rent and all that. And I'm saying to myself, well, thank you. That would be nice, because she didn't know I've been doing this literally for years. I always do this. Like even when I was in my relationship with my ex, the woman was getting out there doing that. And it's like, I mean, I'm going to get out. I got to get out. I don't want to have to step down nowhere and wonder if I'm going to slip, slide, break my back, kill myself, all of that. I don't like that. So I would rather get out there and do it myself. And I mean, it's a workout too. So to me, I try to look at the positive in situations like that. Like I really get a good, nice little workout when I'm out there clearing the snow. So I'm not worried about it. I don't go as crazy as I used to the point of where I go down to the actual sidewalk and all of that. I'm like, child, I don't know. Depending on this time, if it gonna lead to my car, I might do it where it leads down to my car. But child, I don't even think I'm gonna do that much. I'm gonna put on some boots. I'm gonna walk through them a couple of steps, and the street folks, they gonna do what they gonna do and move the snow. I'm going to move whatever I need to move to get my car out the way. And I'm going to hope that they have moved the stuff that's in front of my car I'm hoping nobody parks in front of my car because they're able to clear more snow when people don't come off of side streets and park where on the main street, because I live on the main street. I'm not parking in the back of my building. You're not going to be able to pay me to even do that. I like being on the main street and just be able to walk right out, get on the interstate, and go on about my business. It just is what it is. So anyway, for me, I just don't understand why there are so many people who are eager to get out. Like this woman who I used to work with. I worked a part-time job a couple of years ago. And like when this last snow situation happened, she was reaching out to people on Facebook trying to figure out where they lived if she wasn't like close friends with them, trying to see if they were open to her coming to their house because she hadn't been out in her truck in years when it snowed. And I'm like, ma'am, because there were trees down and all that. And see, that's one of the things that I actually am worried about. We barely had any wind. I don't even remember there really being wind this last time. And it was actively snowing when I was driving home. And there were trees down everywhere. A couple of y'all were privy enough to see the live that I did when y'all saw me just sitting in traffic trying to figure out what was going on. But that's what it ended up being. There was a tree down in the middle of one of the lanes. And I'm still not understanding why they didn't just let us, the few of us who had actually gotten on the road and were there, why didn't they stop the other people from coming down that road until they cleared it, but then let us go down the other lane? Like they literally had everybody who didn't know what was going on to get over into the lane where the downed tree was. And they had emergency personnel coming up the lane the wrong way. We was like, why? Why? If y'all can come up this street, then we should be able to go down this street safely, carefully, and get on about our business. Like, I'm like, what could be going on? So after I found out the next day that that's what it was, I was like, they really could have let us like scoot by. And all they literally did was cut the tree up and put it to the side of the road. I'm like, y'all could have moved that out the way. All them trucks, all them people, y'all could have moved that out the way within that hour that we were sitting there. With all them crews that came up there, I'm telling you, I don't understand how many fire trucks. It was fire trucks. It was police officers. It was ambulances. And I was just like, why are all of y'all coming up this street the wrong way? If y'all can come all the way up the street, why can't we go? Y'all, sorry, I'm having a moment where I'm having a flashback. Because that was infuriating. I was starving that day. Like, I had my mouth set for a good old smoothie. And them people just, ooh, child. I was so tired of my spirit. All I had was water. I had 2 gallons of spring water in my trunk. And no food. I ain't had a first walnut. I ain't have no alkaline stuff in the car. I'm trying to do right, y'all. I ain't doing all the way right. People keep tempting me. And I'm doing partially right. But, child, then my friend about to do a crab boil for my birthday if all goes according to plan. I've never had that before. So I'm going to be bad on my birthday, but after that, I'm going to do my alkaline stuff again and get all the way back on track, detox, all of that. So, yeah, y'all, it's just a lot. It's just a lot. I just need to understand the need for people to leave the house when it's snowing. Ain't nothing open. Y'all, tell me why my job called. Now, yesterday, I don't know what was going on. My phone rang. I saw the number. I was like, let me go on ahead and send that to voicemail. I don't know what that is. But usually, if I'm awake, I'll go back after they've left a message to see what it was. I didn't. And so I went and took a nap and woke back up. I ain't think nothing of it. So I was like, oh, let me see who this from. Child, my job actually shut down. They said, oh, we're going to be closed from this time to this time on Monday because of the snowstorm. I was shocked because a lot of people were talking about, why won't they just close it down? They know it's going to be bad. And like the people who were going to be coming in after me, had I actually gone into work today and they didn't close it down officially yesterday, they would have been in for a time because it was supposed to start an hour after I got off work. I mean, an hour before I get off work. And the 5 to 8 inches would have happened while they were at work. The entirety of it was going to happen while they were at work. So it's like, how y'all going to get home? And most of the people at my job live over an hour away from work. And it's like, I'm not coming. Why? I don't understand why people don't understand that if you die, you get tangled and mangled up because you're wrecked out trying to get to work. You have a flat tire, all this other stuff. You're going to get occurrences. If you pass away, they go step over your body and put another person in your place because you are replaceable. I think just like that. And that's why Wednesday I kept thinking about it. I said, no, let me text my friend and see what he up to and tell him, can you go and ask him to do me a favor? Can you do this for me? Can you put in this time for me? Because for whatever reason, when it comes to days being taken off at this particular job, they want a paper trail. They want it to be on paper. You have to literally come up there if it's something that you want to do that's, not going to be available because you might not be at work. If you want to get paid for it, or you call or text somebody that you trust, because there's certain information that has to be put down on the paperwork that really is supposed to be only for your eyes and the personnel who is processing your paperwork, in order for your stuff to get submitted, for you to get your days. And I'm like, this don't make no sense. But I reached right on out to my friend and asked him if he could do that. And he was like, I don't work in a certain capacity anymore where I could do that. But I will pass your information on to someone who will do it for you. And he knows how I am. He knows I'm very private. I ain't got time for my information to get into the wrong people's hands. So he passed my information off on to the people who was going to do it for me and submit it. And I'm going to get paid for today. Because last year, I ain't gonna lie, was very green. I didn't know what was going on. Stuff was happening so last minute, or I literally just didn't know about it, that I couldn't get paid for it because I'm like, well, dang, I ain't finna kill myself trying to slide up in here. That's what I'm not finna do. These people do not care about you. They don't care. They care about their bottom dollar. Child, ooh, I can't wait to tell y'all where I work. But anyway, I just wanted to come on here and vent about that because I don't like how so many people, they just, it's like they see snow, they're like, ooh, I love the snow, which that's something I don't understand, the fascination with snow. When I was a child, I always wanted it to snow on Christmas Day. I have yet to see a Christmas where it snowed on Christmas Day. Definitely have gotten a lot of rain, hot weather as if it was summertime, where I really was wearing shorts out here at the house because it was hot as I don't know what on a Christmas. Kind of chilly like a fall day or whatever, or barely worthy enough of a little bit of a, thin jacket type of weather, but never snow. I just always wanted to snow on Christmas Day. Oh, snow for a couple of hours on Christmas Day. Yay. That's it. Whatever. I don't know. I just always felt like it would really feel like Christmas if I saw that, but it ain't never happened for me, at least. But yeah, are you one of those people that go out in the snow knowing good well you're not that great of a driver, even though you want to think that you are, but you're not? And then you want to look crazy when you get stuck in a ditch? Like, please don't be that person. Please don't be like Coco from SWV, who got stuck out on I-95 for over 10 hours. Don't nobody have time. Y'all, I have to, my mama just asked me about this yesterday. I have a Berber coat in my car. I always keep that in my car. And she was like, do you have blankets and stuff in your car? You gotta have water. I was like, Mom, I got 2 gallons of spring water in my car. I have my Berber coat in my car. I had a blanket. Now, every 6 months to a year, I like to take it out and just wash it, even though I haven't used it or haven't had a need to use it. But I just be wanting to wash it. So I haven't even put that back in my car yet. So I got to go put my blanket back in my car. Even though that Berber coat, if you ain't never had a Berber coat in your life, when I tell y'all, I had so many people complimenting me on my Berber coat. They was freezing to death and I was sweating to death. Y'all ready to get y'all a good Berber coat. Oh my gosh. I have a long one and I have one that's short. One is black and one is like burnt orange, I guess you could say. Child, the deal that I got on the burnt orange one, after the season was about to change, hallelujah in the name. And it got a hood on it. See, that's the thing for me. I always got to look for one that got a hood. It need to have a hood. Whatever coat I'm wearing, it need to have a hood on it. And my mama ended up giving me the long black one for Christmas one year or something, because she knows that the weather is crazy up here. And then I ended up getting the shorter burnt orange one for myself not long after that, after she told me where she got it from. My mom be on top of stuff like that. I was here for it and I needed it. So anyway, Yeah, I just wanted to know how many of y'all are going to be experiencing this particular weather situation. What are y'all in for? I know my cousin lives in Atlanta and they are supposedly in for like ice, sleet, or something like that. So she went out yesterday and stocked up on a couple of things just to make sure she was gonna be okay. Um, Everybody else that I've talked to, they live like in Alabama and it's not really gonna be that bad, or it's just only gonna be cold or whatever, and that's all they're gonna be experiencing. Or the people that I've talked to, my other friends, of course, live here where I live, so we all gonna be experiencing this foolishness. But I'm just mad that I gotta go in. I gotta pull a 12-hour shift. I'm just hoping somebody call me and say, "Oh, we don't want you to come in because somebody gonna take your spot for them 4 hours." Thank you, because I'm tired already just thinking about it. But anyway, y'all, thank y'all for listening to me vent, because stuff like this irks my soul. I don't see the point. If you don't have to be out, don't be out on these streets. Let the street crews, let these people do what they're supposed to do to get the ground the way it need to be, to treat the streets, all of that. If you don't have to be out, don't be out, because you might be caught lacking. And I'm not fit to be caught lacking. That's why I went on ahead and put my day in on Wednesday. Anyway, subscribe to my channel if you have not done so. Give this video a thumbs up and let's talk about it.